man. Okay, I need to stop snorting.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Just a busy, just a.
Yep. Yep. That's me in most of my videos. That's why I be editing out the
Oh gosh. Why? Hold on, real quick. Y'all get. Well, we'll
okay.
wait for. There's people here. Y'all say hey. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hello y'all. How you doing on the ones and twos? I don't see anything on my end, but I hope that y'all are in the chat. If y'all not on the chat, it's totally fine. I can dig it. Who is the man? I'll kill him with the other man. Chef. Can you dig it? Well. Today we are going to be talking about the nice house on the lake. Let me put it on your shoulder. James Tiny in the Fourth, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, and Jordy Belair. Um, that's what we're talking about today. It feels so weird to just talk about one volume because last year, Realm of Comics Book Club, we was going in. Um, put a heart in the chat, black heart in the chat, if you have read the book. I've been sipping on this one Izzy, which is crazy because I killed him fast for a long time. Or probably because it was halfway slushy and I had to slow it down. Yeah, I've been in this sweater all dang day. Those of y'all who was on the chat in the beginning. Um, ooh, black hearts, black hearts. Love to see it. Put a yellow heart in the chat if you plan on reading volume 2. That comes out in a couple days. Ashley said it comes out, hold on, I think it's like March 7th or 9th. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you right now. The nice house on the lake. Um, volume 1. Oh, volume 2. Yep, it comes out March 7th, y'all. Oh, what? 17.99 in this economy? James, come on. In this economy? Okay. They tripping. Uh oh. I might get mine from Target. I ain't gonna lie. Target be having them deals. Am I wrong? I'm going to hell. Anyway, I gotta figure that out. Hoopla better come through. They better come through, and I mean immediately. I mean immediately. Anyway, I love that we are all there's a lot of people who's planning to reread the book. Um just to get a feel out there, I'm with the emoji. Put like a smiley face emoji if you've read James Tynion before. Um Coffee, pens, plants, you are spot on. The art is worth the money. So I'm gonna just say hi to people so Ashley don't have to do it when she comes back. So hey Scarlet Moon. Hi, Coffee Pens Plant. Crispy Reading is here. Jennifer is here. Jennifer S is here. Ulysses is here. Marissa is here. Leah is here. Jennifer is here. Shadeen is here. Jessica's here. Adrian's here. Sister Harlem's Library, y'all. A new Black Booktuber. Please go over there and support her channel and the things that she's doing. Christine is here. Bunch of folks is in the chat. Love to see it.
I
Love
feel
to
you on the
see it.
ones and twos. What did you ask?
What did I ask? Good question.
I just see a whole bunch of hearts and black
Oh,
hearts and yellow hearts.
well, the black heart was if you read the book. The yellow heart is if you plan to read volume 2. And then the smiley face is if you read James Tynan. I had to come off the dome. What do you
You
want?
did good. I'm so
I
proud of you.
had to come off the
This is why I love you.
dome. So yes, excited to hear you all thoughts. There was a part of it, one part of the book that I was like, Bree, write this question down. You're gonna need to write this question down. And I fucking did. Oh, I just remembered it. Let me write it down.
Oh my gosh.
I just remembered it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget.
Meanwhile, I didn't take any notes whatsoever. I was just in for the ride.
Listen, I also did a dry review with Winnie. I said, okay, let me make my thoughts make sense. So yeah. Yeah, I walked away for the Hearts part. Scarlet Moon, that feels like a personal attack. No, I'm just kidding. You're living your life. You're living your life. But yeah, Monica has read the book, gonna read volume 2, and has read James Tynion before. Love to see it.
Love to
Um,
see it.
love to see it. One more lice emoji, and then we can start. Put like some kind of plant emoji in the private chat if you have uh done the Realm of Comic Book Club with us.
Oh,
Just
that's
trying
so
to see
cute.
who's here. Trying to see who's here. Okay. Trying to see who's here.
Hey, Monet.
Out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
Earlier today I did 7-hour sprint, right? And Monet goes, I did a 2-hour-and-a-half sprint for one of our sprints. And Monet goes, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh,
I said, out of pocket. Wow, Leah, Jessica, Ulysses. Somebody need to whoop your ass. Monica, Crispy. Newbie, Crispy Reading. Love to see you here. Technically my second year, so 2 plants. Okay, get technical with us. Get technical with us. These emojis feel like an attack on my desktop.
Watch.
You can just put green. You can just type in the words when I say colors or anything like that. But yeah, so that is where we're at.
Oh, nice. Welcome, Christine. Welcome to all the people who've never been here before.
I know.
This is year 2.
Jennifer snitching on me immediately. Okay.
You did a 6-hour sprint?
No, this is what happened. I was looking up timers and I saw that they had a 6-hour timer. And I started plotting. And then the chat kind of went wild and they were like, don't do it. And Jessica was like, do it. And then other people were like, yes. And Aaron was like, I'm here for it. Other people were here for it. And Jennifer was adamantly against a 6-hour sprint. So then I said, we can do it for one of my 24-hour or 48-hour read-alongs on my Patreon, but like it won't be straight 6 is what I was trying to say. I was like, I'm gonna pop in and pop out, but that'll be the amount of time the sprint we will do, and I'll pause the timer. Jennifer was against it.
I don't blame her. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Just because you see it don't mean you got to have it.
When I sent Monica, when you messaged me, I messaged back saying that I couldn't see.
They pulled it. They deleted it because it deleted off of my story too. Netflix is picking up Something Is Killing the Children.
Really?
Yeah. Supposedly. They pulled the announcement down though, which is weird.
You know what I'm afraid of? They're gonna handle it like they did Lock and Key.
They're gonna baby it.
Yeah, that's my struggle. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. That's what makes me. I'm excited,
but also
nervous.
Oh my God! Let's mesh Patreons and do a watch.
We could do a watch.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm just getting excited.
It is ridiculous, Jessica.
I feel like y'all hate Scarlet Moon. I have not. This is my first time. So excited! Come on, Christine. Can't find the damn emojis. Ulysses. Y'all, Jennifer is a hater who doesn't want us to have nice things like a 6-hour sprint, Jessica. You know,
Jessica be down for them long sprints.
And I love it. And I feel like that's why people join my Patreon to do long ass sprints with me. And I love it. I ain't going to talk about your sprints no more because otherwise I would still be 50% until a memoir called Empire. Exactly. Put some respect.
Monet.
Put some respect.
Don't
gas me up.
Don't gas that up. Please don't gas that up.
Because we marathoning on any block.
Listen, the way I'm trying to eat right now and how congested I am is really starting to piss me off.
I'm so sorry. That's why I'm trying to take over the talking because I know where you're at. So,
Oh my god.
also, I said that about that. So Scarlet Moon Creation says, I miss it, but the meditation is beginning in the beginning sounding good. You can go back and get the meditation. I also pinned it in the comments when it started because
You did a meditation?
I did a guided body scan. Yeah. It felt so good. You want to do it here? We can totally do it again.
No, it's okay. I'll get my private session in.
I'm just saying, it is nothing for
I'll
me
get no,
to.
it's all right. I'll get my private session. It's fine. We'll do a one-on-one guided.
We could do it right after this, baby. It's nothing.
After this, you know what I'm finna do.
Oh, you're gonna sleep. Sorry. Sorry, but I was like, we could do it.
I'm gonna take a nice hot shower.
Get it open.
Yes.
He's like excited right now. I'm doing it. I was working, so I'll go back to the replay. Okay, Scarlett, Jessica, it is not ridiculous. Sister Harlem, it sounds like someone posted the announcement too early.
That's what it felt like.
Scarlet Moon, but they need finished writing. KTXS23. Wait, what? And yes, do not baby that story. It's supposed to be brutal. That's what I thought about Lock and Key, though.
It was supposed to be brutal.
Yeah, and it did not happen. Scarlet Moon Creations, the loyalty. Sister Harlem said, look, Brandy had 3-hour sprints last week. Brandy want to be me so bad. Brandy.
Brandy said she's getting in.
She said she's getting in when she
finished. She's getting in on those long sprints too.
But this the thing. I think it's like people like Jessica and other folks who go over there and be like 3 hour, 90 minutes. So I think I set her up. But yeah, I've done 3 hours more times than I care to admit with my patrons. Ashley be a hater about long sprints too. Yeah, Ashley gonna give you 30 minutes to 40 minutes. If you get an hour from her, that is.
I've done an hour with my patrons. I don't know why Jessica talking shit in the comments.
You done an hour?
Yes.
Oh,
when we did sprints last week, I was doing an hour long.
Was I in the sprint?
Oh,
okay.
I think you went to sleep. I think.
That's crazy. I need to go to sleep more often. I kept going on Lock and Key. That family is wild. I had to step away. I wish them well. Yeah. It just kept Lock and Key keeps getting worse. Like the situations and the violence. It's
horrible.
Progressively get worse. Like every time you think you've gotten a little it gets worse, it gets worse, it gets worse. And what happened to it, like the storyline, I won't spoil, but the storyline of Bodhi just
is jacked up.
That poor kid was fighting for his life. We do an hour, 45 to an hour. My sweet spot. More than that, I wander and don't get anything done. Monica loves my hour sprint. You did, Ashley, and I was so proud of you for doing 1 hour sprints. You and your sprints is why I stay. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hello, I made it. Work sucks. I'm here now. Yeah. You talking to people who understand you. You talking to folks that get you.
I didn't tell you what happened yesterday. I know we talked last night, but I didn't tell you what happened yesterday.
Okay. You got energy to tell me after the sprint, or are you going directly to bed?
No, I'll tell you after the sprint because I think I need to get this off my chest and see if I was in the wrong.
Okay. I feel like over the last 24 hours, that is how most conversations have started when people have messaged me. Being like, hey, am I wrong?
Am I wrong for this? Am I wrong for feeling this way?
Literally, my 2 cousins called me. I said, y'all, I'm trying to finish this book for the live show. Both of them said, because they didn't know, both of them called me for 2 separate things. They both go, fuck that book, cuz. All right. Am I wrong for this?
I am fine.
And I said, why do my favorite cousins do this to me? But yeah, and 2 of my friends did that to me too. Am I wrong? I'm like, ooh. You had an epiphany just here? didn't you? You were like,
Mm-mm.
oh,
I didn't realize you was even talking to me.
oh, that's crazy. My girl
That's crazy.
smacking. My girl living her life. She should. Yeah, Lock and Key had my pressure up. I felt like I was about to piss myself at least. When volume 3 came in, I said, that's it. That's it.
That's when everything started going super
That's when
downhill.
everything went south.
It went south.
And I said, it was already going south, but it went to hell. And then, you know what I mean? It went straight to hell, you
I
know.
think it went below hell, to be honest with
Well,
you.
I think it went to the earth's core. The
Mm-mm.
mantle at least. The mantle at least.
Such beautiful
So,
artwork and beautiful writing.
beautiful writing. I just feel like Lock and Key, I will say the artwork was a little too neat for me because
Really? You do like.
I love sketch kind of.
So, did you love the artwork in
Loved
this one?
it.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Love that.
I knew it.
Love that.
You love sketchy,
I do.
distorted. I
Yes.
love clean cut, crisp art.
No,
You're so different.
Yes. Bitterroot gave me what I needed to give. Some killing the children gave. It's just, you know, I love a messy situation. I'm reading this book. I wanted to tell you, I'm reading this comic right now, and it has like a kind of a sketchy element.
Sketchy
to it.
element.
Was it something Silver Coin? Is that it?
Mm-hmm,
What I'm reading? Silver Coin.
the
That's
horror anthology.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
James Tynion did an issue for that series.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did. I'm
yeah.
reading that. I said Ashley will be so proud of me. But I didn't know if you knew this one, but I'm reading Silver Coin, and then I'm also reading, hold on. Silver Coin. I'm reading Homesick Pilots, Volume 1.
Tell me how that one is.
Okay. And then I'm reading Skybound Presents After School, Volume 1. And then I have Kyle Volume 1, Principles of Power, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
I haven't gotten to that one yet either.
Yeah, and then I just finished Soul Plumber and The Conjuring the Louvre.
Okay.
And then, oh dang, it got returned back. That means I gotta redo it, which was Rogue Sun Volume 1.
Okay.
Apparently, all I have energy for these days is comics.
It's comics. I did a comic book haul today.
I saw that.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous. When I like got everything together, I was like, clearly I'm hurting from not being able to add things to an Amazon cart right now. Because I was just putting everything on hold. But I discovered I had been ordering them, but I don't think I realized like what they were.
Yeah.
They're leveled readers for like kids who are in I would say kindergarten to like first, second grade. They're level readers, but they're comic level readers.
Oh.
And it's so cute. And so I went on a whole entire like shopping spree of putting them on hold.
Listen,
To read them. Yeah.
you will live your life. I feel like I haven't like I have to return stuff back. And I didn't even finish Unfamiliar. Man, I need to get my life together.
This is an interesting one. Every comic that you read, the art is different.
Yeah.
Because it's different artists, and different artists have. I've read comics where like some art may be similar, but I've never read any comic where the art is the same.
No. And I think the more you read, the more you start, because I started telling Ashley that like I can be like, oh, I know this letterist, you know, or oh, I know whoever written this or whatever. Like it's one of those things. Like I started reading a couple things that Green is involved in, and I was like, I like this. So it depends. I don't know how to describe it because I'm not as like I can like name people names like Ashley can, but I do know that there's a style I like, and I knew I was gonna like it. Soon as I opened it up and just did a quick scan, I said, "Yep, love it." And also, another thing that I really like about this comic is the mixed media in it. In addition to where the bubbles are placed, because some comics I will stop reading it. I'm being honest. If it's not
Placement.
placed in
Placement.
a
Yeah.
good place, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. So yeah, but that was a little neat to me. But like I just really liked the sketchy element of it. Like this. Like there's some comics that have like they will draw every book. You will see every book. But in this, you just see the lines of what the books could be. I like the illusion of stuff more than I like it to be straight cut. Like I like that and it also felt like a mystery as well, like while reading The Nice House on the Lake, because it was like you got a transcript and then you got lists of what they were doing and you're like confused and then it all makes sense. I do have an issue with the comedian with what he did in one section, but should we start talking?
Ask everybody what they rated it.
Oh, what y'all rated? Come on, Monique. Yeah, the illusion is nice. Coffee pen plants. I just finished Scalp series this week and it was gritty. I pulled into that KTXX22 reading said. Seth J, I love the mixed media. Me too. Elysees, I recently picked up Vampire Hunter D Volume 1 and I wanted to DNF so bad. The art was just horrible. And listen, you gotta head out. Heavy on the comedian.
Yeah.
Heavy on that. Heavy. Um Y'all, I saw 7 out of 10 and then I saw 4 and I'm like, damn, it did that bad? My
Yeah,
brain
I had to. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I get it. That readjustment really quick. Yeah, I get that. Because you're like,
my
dang, like
brain.
4, that's horrible. But I'm like, no, 4 is 4 out of 5.
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you. I read this today, right? And when I first read it, I couldn't get into it. And I think it was because I was so tired and sleepy. So I took about 2 naps. And then after those naps, I came back to it and I was just like flip, flip, flip. Like it was eatable. I was like flip, flip, flip all through it. So that lets me know that wasn't in the headspace originally. So what I'm saying is originally I was like, oh, I can't even get into this. I feel like I'm forcing myself through it. It was giving 3 stars. 2.5 if I'm being honest. But then when I took that nap, it's now a 5-star on my book. Because I was like, yeah, I like this a lot. It's the mixed media, it's the mystery that's happening because we don't know what's happening. The mystery is really top tier because he really saw bait action you with stuff and like revealing clues that you don't know that's a clue until another piece of the puzzle get revealed, which I like because I know a lot of readers who like to read things and they're like, this made no sense and they want to like know things. To me, I don't care about not knowing things. So those reveals of those different things that was happening and throughout the story
Character by character, too.
it felt so intentionally great, if that makes sense. I was just like, wow, you did that. You did that. Critique before we go go ahead.
4 stars.
4 stars for you?
It was almost a 5
What
because
what did
Tiny and is my boo. That's my
uh
baby. Tiny and is my
yeah.
baby. And I loved his writing in this. I don't think that there's much that he can do wrong in terms of writing for me.
Yeah.
However, this is where the art messed up for me. And it's not the sketchy style, but I'll show you where I feel like placement was an issue for me.
Oh, yes, definitely. There's no page, so
okay.
go ahead, show us.
So this right here.
Oh, the
when they did full spread panels instead of paneling by page,
yeah,
it made it the way that the layout happened, it made it confusing to figure out which direction to go in.
Oh,
so that was my that's a huge thing for me. So like I don't mind the full panels or a full spread for a page, but when the way that the artist did this in the placement, it's sometimes like even on this page, you get confused on what direction to go into, because sometimes what they do is it looks like, because of the way that the book is designed, it looks like it's actually broken up, but it's a full panel, like a full
Yeah.
page panel. But the way that it's designed, it makes it difficult sometimes to recognize that some of these pages were full page layouts instead of
Mm,
a single page layout. And so the direction, there were times when I had to reread pages
yeah.
because I got confused in the direction. For me, that's a huge thing when it comes to comics, because ease of flow in the storytelling should always be priority and number one. And when your layout and your text placement is not correct, it takes me out of the story. And so I automatically have to kind of like dock it down.
For those of us in the chat who want to theoretically smack Ashley, say I. Because when I was reading, I was like, why do I have to reread, especially in the beginning? I felt like I had to reread stuff, but I was like, maybe it's one of those things because I don't naturally know. There are some comics I never have that problem. Now I just flow. I'm going. But I was like, maybe it's giving manga adjacent, because in manga sometimes I'd be like, all right, which way are we going? So yeah, I didn't think that was a problem. I thought I was just not understanding how comics were being written.
It's a layout. It was a layout
Wow.
issue.
It's a
Yeah.
4.5 for me now. Damn.
That's
That's
what I
crazy.
was wondering if anybody was going. I mean, like, it's still like, if you enjoy the story, you enjoy the story. I think that as we continue to read more, and as I continue to grow as a comic reader, I become more critical of certain things.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing that I could be critical of, is what I
Yes, the layout. Yeah, the way that the panels are
before
laid
you
out.
said that. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah, definitely, you can critique that. Whoever laid these panels out did not always do a good job, and I like the idea of like changing it up and having those double page panels going on where the story actually flows across the pages. But if you don't lay those panels correctly, you
Yeah.
confuse your readers and they don't know what direction they're supposed to be reading in. So
Yeah, true.
that was a huge thing for me. But Tiny Ian's writing is always for me going to be exceptional. He's an exceptional writer. He has a gift for storytelling that, in which, when I did my reaction video, I did not realize I had been reading comics longer than what I said I had been reading. I was telling people, oh yeah, like 2000, but I had been reading comics for a long time. I just didn't know it because I didn't remember.
Oh, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like
So
that.
I think that as you continue to grow and you read more comics, even with the respect that I have for Tiny Ian, you start to get more critical of things. I think that I can say that the writing is great. James Tynion is great, but the art also has to be a factor in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it's a great story, but I think
Mhm.
Jennifer made a good point. I think that in the second volume, I think may be better, because I think that we're going to get more in that second. Which the second volume? You told everybody the second volume drops
I
next
did
week, right?
March 7th.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, I didn't even think of that to be something to critique. I dang, my thing is, I'm gonna take y'all with me. My thing is also, man, there are certain comics I've read that the lettering pissed me off. Like, it's too hard to read.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do realize there are dyslexic readers and people who have a difficult time reading out here in these streets. Oh, well, I don't know what to do.
I'm glad I converted you over to being a James Tynion fan. Whoever engages in these conversations or watches this channel, I'm telling y'all,
Yes,
that man
yes,
does not realize how much I absolutely adore him.
yeah. I will say, I am a fan. I don't think I'm as big a fan as you,
Uh-huh.
but I am a fan. I gotta remember the artist's name. Hold on, I gotta give you the artist who I've liked the most thus far. And I should like Google him and see what other stuff he got going on. Um,
While Bree's looking,
David F.
tell us.
Walker.
Oh, Walker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite thing about it and your least favorite thing about it.
Should I go? We go? Okay. My favorite thing about it was the art. The art, the story. One of the most beautiful things that Tynion does that I think is difficult for a lot of writers is Tynion um, trusts the artist to also tell the story, like he tells the story. And he also tells it in a way that is not overly explained, overdone. The brevity and the word choices that he used to convey an emotion, a feeling, or something like that is done in a very concise way, which I appreciate. Like we don't need folks explaining every blade of grass. Like I feel like when I read Tynion work, I know not only am I going to get a good story, that story is going to be perfectly paired with the art that's displayed, or very closely paired at least. What I didn't like about the story is that if we're at the end of the world, why is so many white folks? Okay, it felt like it was a bunch of white folks, but I don't know for sure.
It's not.
It's not.
No. If I'm not mistaken, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me make sure that I'm doing this right here.
I'm looking on the back here because the art
5.
sometimes it was hard to tell.
It's hard to tell with the art, but
1,
there is
2, 3, 4,
and
5,
I
6.
think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me count now. I'm gonna be counting wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 5 characters of color.
I'm always like it could have been a bit more diverse, but okay. But so that's that.
It's a lot of racial diversity. It's a lot. It's a lot of racial diversity. You have
And for
um
comics, it's a lot.
the acupuncturist is, the reporter is, the scientist is, I believe that the doctor is, as well as our person who is, what is the guy's name at the very end, the black guy.
The painter?
No.
No, not the painter.
Talking about Reggie, that's his name.
Oh, I thought
Reggie's
he was
black.
the painter.
Huh? Is he
I
the painter?
thought,
He is the painter.
I
I'm
thought
sorry,
he
I'm
was
thinking
the
of the
painter.
artist. He is the painter.
Oh,
So,
so yeah.
so
It is hard for me to see. Okay, I take back my comment only because it was hard for me to tell who was white or not until I just looked at this page.
in the back, in the character guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see it now. All right.
I definitely do agree with this though. There could have been more dark skinned people. Like it wasn't, it
Maybe
was,
that
the
was
art made it very difficult to tell. Like it took me forever to figure out that the scientist was black.
Yeah. I was
And
just
then I
reading.
finally,
And then you finally.
and then I finally realized that she was black when part of the story was told from her perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just here. Sometimes I get too lost in the art, I will say. And then another critique I have is very specific, and a lot of people may disagree with me, and that's okay. It's when our girl, hold up. It's when Naya made that dinner. Right
Yeah.
before that dinner, I don't forget the other character, but Molly and another character had a conversation about suicide or unalive. I forget what people say on the internet. And when that conversation was had, and the things that they were talking about, they came back all bloody and all that, and then got on the table and then cut his neck. I just felt like that scene was completely unnecessary because Naya really spent days preparing this meal,
I'm done.
and you got on top of
I'm
the
done.
damn table
That's
and
not where I thought you were going with that. That's not where I thought you were going with that. But
that
continue.
girl slaved in that kitchen, and you got up there and said, "I'm gonna just show y'all that we're immortal. I can heal." You couldn't do that at the bottom. You also couldn't clean yourselves, enjoy this meal that my girl has painstakingly been making broth or the soup or whatever from 2 days ago. I just felt like that was just so rude. So that was my critique. That was really rude. I found it really rude.
Everybody agreed. Nobody thought that was the direction you were going.
Where did you think I was going?
I don't know. I thought maybe you were going to critique that wasn't necessary to the plot, and I was going to disagree with you about it. That's where I thought you were going.
No, I just found that it was rude. Like I mean, you got your blood pieces all over the paella. I don't know what she cooked, but I'm just, she could have made pho because it was the days of not borscht, Lord Jesus, of broth. I just felt like that was just out of order. Out of order.
I think I do think that the difficulty in processing the will to live is a necessary element. Since I went there, I will say that I think that it is a necessary element of the story, because you
Okay.
have to think about these people are being self-contained. I mean, I don't want to compare it to the experiences of us in quarantine, but it is, because a lot of people struggle with mental health, with the world literally feeling like it was falling apart,
Yeah.
and being contained to one spot for your safety. And so I thought that it was very interesting that, and I don't know if he kind of used that as inspiration, because this came out as quarantining was laxing, when I read the first issue of this. But when I read it, I was like, I wonder how everybody's going to process that, because being in a situation like that where you don't know how your loved ones are doing, it's the end of the world, and you can't leave where you're at.
Yeah,
It
and you're
makes you feel,
assuming they're dead.
and you're assuming the worst. And then they all had touched that thing, so they could see what had happened to their families and their loved ones. I think that it was enough to want to be in that headspace. I didn't always like the comedian, but how he handled Molly when Molly was having such a difficult time processing the death of her husband, I do appreciate the way that he kind of stepped in and was like, I know this is what you want to do, and it's normal. And I
That's
think he
what's
made her,
really
it was so good. And that's why I'm like, this is where I like, this is why I ride so hard for Tiny, and because he's a jokester and he's a complete ass. However, in that scene and in that moment, I was like, this is where you get to see the other side of this character, where he's like, I want you to know how you're feeling, and what you want to do is valid. And you shouldn't be, essentially, you shouldn't be ashamed of feeling that way in this situation. But this is why, you know, you shouldn't. So I
yeah.
I really did connect. As much as he got on my nerves, I think
Mhm.
that James always flips our expectations on our heads when he does character development, because he gives us very much so surface level at first, and then he'll take these moments where we get to see him create these building blocks in the character development, which I think is just, I'm also a very heavy character development person. I like to feel like these are real people, even if the situation itself is not realistic. I like characters that are three-dimensional.
Mhm.
And in such a short, once again, I keep going back to why comics are so phenomenal, is that he's doing this in a very short amount of time and space.
Mhm.
And I just, that was a moment for me. But yeah. Okay, everybody
Yeah.
continue.
No, I think another thing is like when he started and he came in with the knife, with the blade. No, with the blade? Yeah, with the blade.
Uh-huh.
At first I was like, "Holy shit." And then I got emotional when he normalized it. Like, I think a lot of times the reason why we don't have open and honest conversations about suicide, which is like the number one way that most people die in certain groups in America, we have to just be honest. Like, we have to like say what's happening. Like, when I get training on how to walk somebody through the suicidal ideations that they have, we have to say, are you talking about suicide? We
Yeah.
can't be like, oh, are you talking about unaliving yourself? No, we have to say,
You have to be direct.
are you telling me about suicide?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to
Yeah.
make this, like, we need to talk about this. Do you have a plan? Like, let's figure out a plan. Let's find some way to live and thrive and be your best self. What resources do you need? Kind
Yeah.
of thing. And a lot of times normalizing it. I think that's one of the things I have with therapy as a whole, is a lot of times in white centric psychological interventions, you are taught as a therapist not to ever bring yourself in the room, which I think that is a huge disservice to human beings and how we communicate and exist and relate to each other. So
Yeah.
if a client is telling me like, hey, I had suicidal ideation, or telling me about that, I'm going to tell them I have too, because they need to know that other people have felt that. Suicidal ideation feels so isolating. It feels like you're the only one struggling, you're the only one going through it, and no
Yeah.
one understands you. So
Yeah.
having someone tell you, like, hey, look, I know this is what you want to do, and I know this is a fucked up situation, and I know you want the pain to stop. I want you to know that this is normal. Other people have felt that way. And even having that conversation with her could have very well saved her life. Just somebody being in that moment of this shit sucks. So I was just very impressed with how that scene went. Y'all didn't
Yeah.
ask
I
me
was too.
the thing, but I gave it.
I was. I very much so was.
Yeah,
The thing that I take something that I struggle with
yeah.
that I didn't appreciate till I got to the end, and I've seen a couple of people bring it up. It is a lot of characters.
It is a lot of characters.
It is a lot of characters.
It is a lot of
And I was like, I'm not used to that from him. That's not true. Because Into the Woods, he also did that with, or The Woods, not Into the Woods. Goodness gracious, my brain is exactly. My brain is all over the place. He did the same thing, I think, with The Woods too, where there was quite a few characters, and that was also his other sci-fi work that he did. So I don't know if this is like a thing that he does with sci-fi, but he also did it with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that as we step into future volumes, it's going to make sense. Right now, it doesn't always make sense. And I think I don't know if there's a connection between when Walter said at one point, basically he felt like he got set up because they gave him a human body with human emotions.
Yeah.
And he starts connecting with all these people.
Yeah.
Is it, how am I supposed to choose
when I'm
when there's
connecting and I'm having feelings with all these people?
Exactly. And so for me, if James is the genius that I think he is, I think it will be the same for us, but kind of in an unexpected way. Where we're introduced to all these people, we're like, I don't know who the hell you are. And as the story progresses, we're going to start to dive deeper into each one of these characters and build our own personal connections with each one of these characters. And he probably will do some devastating shit because it is
He's
James.
gonna kill him. They're gonna have to choose who's gonna die.
Yeah,
it's
somebody's
gonna
gonna
be a
die.
game. Somebody's gonna have to choose who die.
And I
the
think
aliens are. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think I just feel that like this is a setup.
Yeah.
This is not. This is just a piece of the story. I haven't read anything past issue 6 because I want to get the second trade. But I think that as the story progresses, we will get to know all these characters. Is it frustrating? Absolutely, because I'm like, who the hell is this? Who is this? And then we refer to each other by their code names, and I'm like, I don't remember who the painter, I don't remember who the writer is, or the scientist, or I'm like, I don't remember who these people are because they don't feel like they have distinct personalities.
No,
but James is not gonna. He's not gonna let that. I just don't feel like he's gonna let that slide because you could just see little things. What I thought were hints with the comedian, very shallow. Then all of a sudden we get this moment where we're like, oh my goodness. And I think as we get to know each one of them in more detail, we'll find out more as to why Walter connected with them so heavily. And then we'll get to just know them more. And it just, oh gosh, y'all.
Yeah. I'm excited. And
I am too.
I'm excited because I feel like he is gonna do something similar to Radiant Black, how we got introduced and then got their own storyline and knew more about them, but more in a way that's not so separate from the story as Radiant Black. Because Radiant Black felt like it went in the past and then brought you to the future. I think it'll all be tied in into this comic series. But I also think it's going to get dark because I think Walter is going to get in trouble from his parents and his family for the things that he's let slip. And they're going to find out, and then it's going to turn into some twisted experiment where they're going to have to choose how they're going to be judging their morals, like how thick is your morals, or what is too much, what is the line, and some people are going to die and some people are going to get killed. That's what I feel is going to happen.
I do too.
And March that's March 1st if it happens at 8:17 Central Standard Time.
You heard it here first. I'm sure people who have read I'm sure that other people have who've read, kept up with this issue by issue, have gotten a full picture of what James is going to do with this series. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out right now, Monica, how many trades it will be. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure right now because I don't know how many issues he's planning to do. Usually I could figure out if it's an ongoing and how many issues he's current. But clearly he's done enough where he's hold on now. Wait. Volume 2 may be
the end.
Yeah. I'm about to turn my thing out on you because I can't. Okay. Let me see. Let me figure.
More volumes in you, babe.
Why you have to be so extra? So extra. Why can't I find anything about?
I turn that off. Shit's getting on my nerves.
This is where we're going to have follow-ups to our normal monthly reads. I know this is we have been, because when we had our last discussion, it was the same thing. There's been follow-ups, like, oh, maybe we should read this and then go back and talk about it. Okay, yeah. So he only did 12 issues of it. So volume 2 is the last volume. Damn.
It ain't right. How you get us wrapped up and then snatch it from us like our edge?
He can do it now. He can do it. He can write it. He can write it and tie it all together nicely.
Yeah, Lissy's 2 volumes sounds great. Yeah, it ended in December 22. Coffee, pens, plants. How could you? Y'all, this is the first year we're going to have to follow up to our normal monthly read SAP discussions.
It is, because remember last month when we did Radiant Black?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we got to talk about Radiant Red and Radiant Pink.
Damn, we got to do a follow-up to this one too?
Yep.
What's that?
Child, I don't know. Maybe
God.
we just need to have a month where we just do follow-ups.
Yeah, I just said something so dumb. I'm like, what are we following up with? Volume 2, Bree. Volume 2.
It's all right, honey. It's okay.
I'm so
sorry.
Don't
worry about it.
Don't
worry about it.
Kind of lost.
Now listen, he has potential where he can wrap this up nicely, or he could fall flat on his face.
Damn.
We can go either way.
Either way, it's giving flat on face, huh?
Mm-hmm. If there's anybody that I have faith in that can make this series make sense by the end of volume 2, it's him.
Yeah,
But
true. Your love is
that's not
strong.
to say that he's going to be capable.
That's also true.
I mean, that's not to say that he is going to be able to, that he's going to execute it. I think he's capable of doing it, but will it happen? We don't know.
Yeah, that is also true. I'm just like, dang.
Uh-huh.
I said, I'm just like, dang. Because this was good. That means I'm going to have to buy the second volume then. I'm going to need the complete volume. Can't be out
Yeah.
here with this one volume.
Um,
But there's no more Lock and Key, right?
not really per se. There's a bunch of like one shots for Lock and Key. There's a Sandman crossover.
Oh, are we ever going to do that one?
But there's no the main story is volumes 1 through 6.
Okay.
What do y'all think Walter is?
He's some type of, I think he's some type of alien that's devoid of emotions. Because if they had to put that in him, that means that was never in his genetic makeup.
But let me tell you something that tripped me out. Issue 4, this variant cover, which is nothing but Walter. That freaked me out.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's one of my
Oh
favorite
my
pieces.
god.
Those are one of my faves.
So it makes me question, like, what are they? Like, what?
Maybe Walter's going to get in a spinoff.
Well, I mean, going back to what you said before, clearly from the stories that we were getting, right?
Yeah.
When the characters would go, and they would tell us from the future, like you were saying. They would tell us from the future what happened prior to even them ending up in the house.
Yeah.
I'm so anxious to know how the fuck shit went left. Because clearly every panel that we see these characters in, the world is on fire behind them.
On fire.
So I wonder if, and it's got to be something, because by the time we get to the end with Reggie and Walter steps in and he's like, forget, I'm like, and then it's like they've reset. And I'm like, okay, so how is this going to work in the end? Because clearly they do something that kind of, that pushes back against their expectations.
I also feel like they were calling themselves immortal. Walter wasn't. He said, I put you in this space for you can spend the rest of your life. Walter never said he was immortal.
To live here forever.
He said, y'all gonna live here for the rest of your life.
Yeah, this is a good point. They were hilarious because it was like confessionals. As the world was burning around them, they were just like, so little did we know. And I'm like, what the hell? It makes you so curious about, well, what happened? What did y'all figure out? Because clearly in this first volume, if we're talking about the present time, y'all were clueless. Yeah. You had no idea. And I think, Courtney, this is a good point too, because I wonder if Walter's reset has a time limit, because he had told a couple of characters to forget their interactions whenever he revealed his true self, but they remembered eventually. And I wonder what triggered that memory to come back.
Yep. And how did the painter know everything after he said the dude took his memories? So how do you?
I don't know, because he kept saying that, like, he couldn't remember, like, he built the whole house, but he couldn't remember that it was Walter behind it, because he'd be taking his memory every single time. But I'm still trying to figure out, well, how did you ever get your memory back though? What caused you to get your memory back that you remembered the conversation that you had with Walter via the when y'all were in the chat, when you all met up and Walter showed you who he was, and then you made him like, what is bringing these memories back?
I thought it was the house, but then he erased everybody's memories in the house. So I'm wondering if in the house his powers is only limited, or maybe he has a certain battery that could be used, like energy source. I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
Jennifer, listen. I agree with Jennifer. This is a good summary. Let me go back to why I think that this could also be a possibility that none of this is real, that the world around them has not really ended yet. Here's why.
And they're attached to some shit.
Yes, that this is an actual simulation and not really what's happening on the outside, where they're testing to see humanity's limitations and whether this is the group that's worthy of keeping.
Yeah.
The reason why I think about that is because the scientists, I think, kind of supports what you're saying, Jennifer, because the scientist was saying that she was trying to look out. She was supposed to see something, some comet. I don't know, but she had her telescope, and she said no matter what, you should always be able to say the time of day because of how things, like how the star is in the Big Dipper and the North Star, how they line up. You should always be able. But she said they stopped and they never moved. And somebody said,
so smart for her to order stuff to check it.
And someone said, well, what does that mean? She said, I don't know. I just know that they are supposed to continuously move, and it's like it's stuck. And I wonder if they created this simulation and they're just stuck in a simulation.
And then that sucks.
That'd be a hell of a fucking twist.
That would be a hell of a twist.
Yes, like the Hunger Games. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of that Maze Runner, but I haven't gotten too much in the movie to know what's going on.
So fucking brilliant. Walter's username was the engineer in the chat.
Oh, it's coming.
It was the engineer.
It's coming around. That makes sense. Come on, folks.
That's a good question too. Why is the artist there? Because she has no connection to anyone.
Yeah.
None. And it was interesting because at the very beginning, she screamed at Walter and said, tell them. Oh, and they were asking her, what did you know? And she said, I just felt like something was wrong.
I also feel like one of them is also an alien.
I think it might be her.
I do feel that.
It might be her. Because how could she possibly, when she called him out in the very beginning and she said, tell them. And then everybody's like, well, how would you know that he was hiding something? And then her answer was just like, oh, I just got a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Listen. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah.
He did just randomly meet her in a bar, but everyone else is connected in some way. Yeah. Literally everyone he has met people from school, or he's met people because they were friends of his friends from school. Yeah. Or partners of his friends from school. Mm-hmm. She is the outlier. She has no connection to, she's met them because she's hung out with them, but she has no literal connection to, and she points that out. She said, I don't really know any of y'all like that. What if she's an alien and her memory got wiped? Maybe I'm taking this too far.
No, I think you're taking it where it needs to be taken. I'm over here sweating like a sinner in church.
Oh, you're so right. You're right. She's the one that gave Walter the idea of the end of the world. She told him in the beginning that people should melt real slow. Wow. Now we making connections after.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Come on, Fed. Do what you got to do, bruh. because I'm over here sweating.
Right, and she was, or it was an act. Interesting.
I thought about that too, but I was like, maybe this is like a play on COVID-19.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that's what that whole connection to me about, and I didn't know if that's what the isolation and the feeling of not having any control, if that came from us being in quarantine at the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Am I experiencing hot flashes? Like, what's going on?
Isn't it like below zero where you live right now? Just
I
turn the heat off.
know, but the terrible thing is where I live, the heat rises, and all the apartments below me, heat be blowing. So I never
So you
turn
very
on
hot.
my heat, and I just be hot as hell. Like my heat was $35 last month. That's how much I don't turn on my heat.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna tell you how she said it. She said, because I may have gotten her confused. She said,
I did just
um,
because my shoulder hurts. But before that, I've just been hot, so I turned it off.
let me think about it. No, some time.
I'm going through it.
Maybe it was.
Artiste. In the beginning with the artist, he just randomly asks her, how does she thinks the world will end? The artist. Yeah. I don't remember their names. You guys remember Nora is the art studio. I don't be remembering, folks. Accounting for sure. But he also asked his friend when he was in high school. Yeah, I'm just really trying to figure out how they are getting their memory back.
That to me is confusing.
Yeah. And also, why was the painter in that box looking thing? Because when the guy first went there and there was someone in it, I thought the whole world was in that box and they were all screaming to get out. So then when one person just got out, I was like, what? And I knew the whole world can't, all human beings couldn't fit in there, but I thought it was like some type of scientific explanation for that. I may have
But
some.
hold on. Here's the thing though too. Why was the artist with the only one with cell service? Nobody else had cell. Remember when they got to the house,
The
the
artist was the only one
reporter,
who felt
because the reporter had said, I'm trying to figure out who owns this property. I've been trying to look it up on
on
Zillow,
Zillow.
but I don't have any cell service out here. But when everything started happening, she was the only one that was on her phone on the internet. She was the only one that had cell phone service out of the entire group. No
Mm-hmm.
one else had phone service but her. Why
Mm-hmm.
her?
It's giving alien adjacent.
Because
Ashley,
no
I would
one
have made Ashley suspecting everybody. Why did she
because
make that food?
because I'm thinking about the fact that when she pulled out her phone, even in that page, no
Oh,
one else pulled out a phone. They
someone.
all went in the chat said it was control cell service. But why only give her cell service?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think I definitely believe it's control, but why? Was her phone the only phone that they allowed to work? Because you would think in a situation like that, like if we're all sitting in a room, right? And someone says, "Oh my gosh, I'm on Twitter," da 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 da. The first instinct that we would have, everybody would pull out their phones and start looking. But instead of that, they all go to the living room and turn on the TV.
I also didn't understand, and maybe I missed it. Why was one of the characters kept taking the books from the library to his room? Did we figure out? Did I miss that?
Were they talking about the comedian?
I don't know.
Going to the library and taking books? Because
They
the
was
two of them
taking,
were talking.
yeah, but then they were talking about how I know we're in here reading, but somebody else keep taking books, and it was sounding like they were suspicious of the other person taking the books, being like, I know they can take the book and finish the book in the time that they took it, but isn't that suspicious? And I just couldn't figure out if it was revealed or not. Why?
I need to reread this shit.
Oh, that was the comedian.
I gotta reread this. I have to reread this. I have to reread this because in the next page when they yeah, I'm gonna have to read this one. I'm gonna have to reread it. Because I don't know how she could have put that together so quickly. Because they're saying everybody get your things, let's meet at the front door, let's figure out what's going on. And then there's a panel of her thinking, and then she says, I guess the conversation is over. That's what she says next, the artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walter looks at her and smiles, and then she says, you picked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Nora says, what is she talking about, Walter? And then the artist says, just tell them, don't pretend.
Yeah.
How did you have figured that shit out?
I don't know. And then I will say I'm thinking because they think they're immortal, but they're not. But we do know the painter knows all the rules. So once he gets the memories back, he probably will be able to tell everyone what their weakness are. But I don't know if he will, because I think they're going to be suspicious and turn against him because he actually helped create this, even if he didn't know. And I was also confused of whose hand was this?
Drawing the symbols?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the artist. I feel like that's the artist's hands.
Mm.
Well, clearly now after reading it, we know that this is Reggie's hands, his finger.
Yeah.
Reading the transcript. But then that begs the question of why was Reggie given, why did they set up to where Reggie would hear all of their conversations?
Because Reggie was the only one he told that what was going on. That's what I perceived it as. Reggie was the only one who knew the ins and out. And first off, I was like, why this dark ass finger? But I didn't realize it was going to be a black man in the end. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was a part of the stylistic
choice.
Thing. Yeah, choice. There we go. I'm still gonna be mad about that scene when he walked on top. Let a goddamn thing. Yeah.
This might be a trial run. This all thing might be a trial run because I mean, but she says it. The scientist says, but I mean, we're talking about sentient non-humans. Walter is some kind of alien. We're in some kind of enclosure.
I don't. Ooh. I just scratched too hard. Yeah, I don't.
It's been locked in place. Yeah, that's what she said. The point is that the sky's fixed. It's not quite a still image. It's still what we should be seeing in the northern hemisphere, but the Earth moves and the sky moves with it. But since we got here, it's been locked in place. So they know that they're in an enclosure, and they may not even be. Because who's to say, like, all of a sudden they touch this thing, and they're all able to see what's happening to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, man, y'all making me want to go just check out the single issues and say screw it. Screw waiting.
Tonight, we're doing it.
I don't know. I just, it makes me feel like I need to because there's a bigger mystery in this that I didn't even think about the fact that none of this was real. That did not cross my mind until someone said it in the chat. Like it never crossed my mind that none of this was real. I read this whole thing thinking like, oh yeah, the world has ended and now it's a matter of survival. But now, like looking back at certain things, I'm like, is this shit even really real?
What's real, man? What's real?
Oh
Real.
gosh.
What does
Oh
it
my
mean?
goodness gracious.
Baby, don't
It's
hurt me.
I don't think
It's on Comixology, man. I don't got that membership anymore.
and this part, and none of them remember how they got there.
When I noticed that when she was like, "Yeah, I'm not catching a plane" or something, one of the characters, and I was like, "Then
And
how
they
you
all
get
kept
here, sis?"
changing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, "How did you get here, sis?" And I was like, and then I wanted to go back and read the letter that he wrote to them, telling them like I wanted to further examine that. Let me find it now. God damn. Okay.
Man, see, this is why I like meeting with y'all, but this is also why I don't like meeting with y'all because I be just trying to enjoy my look. And y'all be getting me because when I leave these discussions messing around with y'all, I be feeling like, damn, I need to keep reading because I don't feel fulfilled.
I don't. I don't. But it's a good discussion. It says weekend getaway this summer. Hello, all my beautiful monsters. That's also letting me think it was a control thing to say something like that. It's been a busy, busy few years, and we all spread ourselves thin around the country and abroad. It's not as easy to meet up for a drink as it used to be. Even those of you I still live in the city with rarely get to see me, especially given the state of the world. I miss you all terribly, and that's something I'd like to remedy. So he said, given the state of the world, I assume it was COVID-19, which is why I thought that's why the lady was scanning. A few days ago, a friend of my mom said that I could borrow his lake house in upstate Wisconsin for a week this summer, June 14th to the 20th. I've attached a few pictures and would attach more, but they're honestly too beautiful, and I think you all will be convinced I've made that whole thing up. But I promise you it's real. This is important to me. This is why I've been texting you all mysteriously about your summer schedule and plans. So no pretending you have something better to do. If you need help with travel, let me know. If you need to be strong armed into coming, let me know, and I'll unleash my very strong arms. I'll send a more detailed itinerary as we get closer, Walter. Also, I thought it was really strange. So, a lot of people don't know. I'll tell you here. I spent some time of my youth in Wisconsin. So, and specifically Milwaukee. So, every time he was talking about stuff, I was like, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, I've been there. I had friends go to that school. So, that was interesting.
You know, this is a good question. What about the start of issues with the mask and fire and boat wreck? I'm not saying that things don't go left because I think they do, but they may not go left in the way that I initially thought they went left. They
Hmm.
may get into an altercation with these non-human beings because they figure shit out too quickly. But I wonder if it's all in a controlled environment and that nothing really has happened because they can't get out.
But then
Now that
explain
I'm
this.
they can't yeah, they can't get what?
Explain this.
I don't think that may not be real. It may not. Like think I mean
Yeah, no,
it
for real. Whose
but
name
for
is Richie
real,
Wilma?
it may not be real. What she cuz think about it now. She's the only one who has cellular phone access. This is
Mm-hmm.
on her phone. What's to say that they are not controlling her phone and putting and showing her certain things? This reminds me of what's the movie with Jim Carrey where he thought he was living a life and he really wasn't. It was actually all on a studio set and there were actors everywhere. And Jim Carrey was the only one who didn't know that he was actually in
I
a
know what you're talking about. Was it?
yes, what is
Wit-
that movie?
It wasn't Bewitched. I thought it was Bewitched.
The
I was like,
Truman Show. Thank you.
yeah. Why did I say Bewitched? I don't know. But you think the emergency broadcast system was also a fake?
Child, I could create an emergency broadcast thing right now on my laptop if I wanted to.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really think when his face went left, that was just great.
This too. Or I wonder if they introduce more elements that makes them they introduce certain factors because they're trying to. What if this is all just trying to study
What if,
humans?
what if we're all off base?
What if the sky fucking fell right now? What would we
I
do?
know.
Y'all, this is you know what? I'm about to get off because I'll be here all night with a little board. What we need to do is those videos where you see the strings and you're explaining the video like it's a crime scene, like it's a crime investigation, and you have the pictures with the connect. They
I think there's a YouTuber, I forget their name,
Carrie.
Carrie. I love it when Carrie does. I want to do that one time, but I'm gonna be honest. I love the way it look. Have I watched one of Carrie's videos? No, because the books that they choose, I'm like, you can count me out. But I do think
But
it's
the visual is appealing. Yeah, I
visual.
get it. I
You
get
get what
that.
I'm
I get
saying?
that.
I knew I
I
didn't
get
have
that.
to explain.
Yeah, yeah. They'll do what it takes to survive.
Man, we should have been writing down these theories.
Let's play back.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Let's play back. Because the original people say have code names and not real names. Y'all have got to stop. Y'all have got to stop.
All the
There's no more
villains
theories
as they have code names.
and not real names.
Exactly.
No, we're not doing this. I'm
Hold
not
up, hold
playing with
up. I
y'all.
just read the page. Hold up. Let me read it to y'all. I was like, that shit creepy. That okay, hold up. He says, Ryan, I am so very glad you've agreed to come in the house this summer. It's been more difficult to nail everyone down than I expected. The house was meant to have room for 15, but we're down to 12 coming this week. Disappointing, but I think the others will be more disappointed in the long run. And I was like, damn, someone's dying. Attached to this email, you'll find all the information you need to get to the house from the airport, which is simple enough. A driver will be waiting for you when you get off your flight. You'll also find a few helpful maps of the house and of the grounds. So I'm wondering if when he erased memory, he erased a certain type of memory. So maybe they all did get there on their own, but there's a time frame of the memory they forget, but I don't know. I've created little name place cards for everyone that will be placed around the house. I did it because I think it's fun and also because these documents talk about the others attending and I wanted to keep the final guest list a little mysterious. This was more concerned with my other friends to keep them from asking around and looping in people who weren't invited. You are the artist. Over the course of your visit, you might find a few little treats labeled with your symbol that I know you appreciate. Most importantly, you'll find your symbol in your bedroom. You'll be sharing the room with the writer, who I promise you, you know and like. Please text if you have any questions or concerns, but I really couldn't be happier that you're getting to make it. It wouldn't be the same without you, Walter. Now I just realized it's giving clue.
It is very much so giving clue.
It's
That's
giving
a
clue.
damn good analogy. It is giving
It's
clue.
giving clue.
It is giving clue completely right now. It is most definitely giving clue.
It just bumped back up to a 5 star. Sorry.
I may have to change my rating on this too, like no
It
lie.
just it just bumped back up to a 5 star. Now that we have dissected it for filth,
Oh my
it
gosh.
went back up to a 5 star.
I'm
If
looking on
it's
my
if
DC
it's
Infinite
generating,
Universe app right now.
the what universe?
The DC Infinite Universe app.
Oh yeah. Marvel's like, oh, we know that you have been gone for about 6 months because I wasn't using it as much as I thought I would. They're
Yeah.
like, please
Yeah.
come back. Come back. Yes. I love Cuba. Also, what they need a whole arsenal for. Exactly. I don't know what they need the whole arsenal for. Walter's movie nights on the itinerary. That the theme of the
The
movie
fees were
night.
out of pocket. He was out of pocket for that.
I was like, sir, they are not rabbits. They're not on a vacation. They're scared shitless. They got cortisol flushing through their body.
Okay, so through the DC app, I can read issue 7, 8, 9, and 10 tonight.
Here
I don't
she.
want to. I'm not going to do that because it's going to piss me off if I can't get to 11 and 12.
Damn.
Damn, y'all. I really like March 7th is a long ways away.
Yeah. Next volume, Tupac is going to show up as the rapper. I'm gonna get off the internet. Not the next volume. Tupac is gonna show up as the rapper.
Who said that?
Ashley showing up as the bookish round. She's showing up.
I'm done.
Volume 2 already on hold at the library. Dang, you can get that. Look, my
Because
dad's
Hoopla is
saying,
not going to drop it on March 7th. They're going to be complete.
oh,
Hoopla probably won't drop it until like the 8th.
Sending love to you, Adrian. And then you don't have anyone to talk to about it. Wait, yeah. Wait, it's next Tuesday. Hey, Adrian, I thought that as soon as I read his name. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Dang, I'm sucking it down. And well, I'm done with it. Moving on to this. I told you I'm a thirsty girl.
Yo, y'all got me stressed. It's time for me to go to bed. Y'all got me stressed
out.
I'm stressed out now. And this was going to be my read before bed tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So now all of this apocalyptic.
Yeah. I didn't realize this was horror.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it read as a mix of sci-fi and horror.
Yeah. I thought it had two genres, but they telling me horror online. I mean on the book. Small ways.
Okay, so I guess we have 2 follow-up conversations to do. We are so interested in reading the Sandman comics, but we are also being responsible adults, and we have a lot going on. Not to say that we won't ever touch the Sandman comics, but right now, for me, and I also know for Bree, it would just be too much to take on reading all of that.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. Our next pick is... Don't make me lie.
Listen, I was looking at Ashley because
I know. I'm finna pull it up. I'm finna pull it up. Just give me a second. I'm sure y'all know faster than we do, which is a damn shame. But what's new?
Giving a damn shame.
It should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be New Kid. No, it's Static Shock. Static Shock, volume number 1.
You can do what you wanna do.
Yep, next Static season. Where y'all get March from? Everybody saying March.
Because it's March today.
We don't read March until closer. Wait, is it March? No, March is after Static Shock. So the next one is, yeah, I told you March and March, but it's Static season 1. Because we're behind. Technically, I think.
We are?
Let me listen to myself. I don't think we are. Well, I lied if I told y'all we were reading March and March.
Hold on. Let me go check our thing.
And it is written by Kyle Higgins, and we are going to be reading volumes 1 through 3. So make sure you pay close attention to. I might watch my own damn video. Because in some of these, we're going to be reading multiple volumes instead of just one. For the month of February, we are going to be reading The Nice House on the Lake. This is another. So February's read was A Nice House on the Lake. And it is written by James Tynion. In March, we're going to be reading Static Season 1. Static Season 1 is March. And it is written by Vita Ayala. In April, we are going to be reading March. And this was done by Top Publishing. And when I say... Okay. So it is Static. We're not behind. That was on the April calendar. However, what we're doing, the reason why it may be confusing is because we're literally giving you the entire month to read, and then we discuss the read at the top of the month. So our live show for Static season 1, or whatever it's called, I know it's Static Shock. We'll be discussing that April 5th,
Pending no changes.
pending no changes. Because it's just the way that it worked out is that we just didn't put March in March because I don't think we were thinking about March in March when we were doing this. It wasn't a thought, to be honest with you.
Also, keep in mind, and it just happened this way, if you are participating in the realm of comics book club and Black Classics, they will always be in the same week. It just happened that way. So, sorry. So,
Yeah.
Sunday, catch me. I got to do the goddamn thing.
Yeah, so we will be discussing Static Shock April 5th. I'm excited for that one because Dwayne McDuffie was part of um a huge part of introducing these black characters to DC. Um working independently, then working in collaboration in terms of distribution with DC. And so Dwayne McDuffie has done a lot of stuff that people are familiar with comic wise as well as cartoon wise, animation. Um, Unfortunately, he is no longer with us, but
No.
DC, yeah. Um, DC is going through the process of kind of re releasing, um, not re releasing, but providing opportunities for people who are newer readers to dive into what would have been um what is the actual milestone, because it was Milestone Comics. So it's a way for people to be introduced to Milestone, which includes um Static Shock. I always want to get his name wrong because I'd be saying like Hardwire, but I'm pretty sure it's Hardware. Because I always get that wrong, but I'm gonna double check because I don't want to butcher. It is Hardware. Um, Icon, Hardware, Blood Syndicate, all the stuff that Dwayne McDuffie did. So I'm excited to read it. I don't know how it's going to hold up in terms of compared to the original work, but we shall see. But that is it, y'all. Thank you for the invigorating conversation that now has me completely out of my mind of what the hell really. Now you got me considering changing my rating, bumping it up to 4.5.
Yeah, I took the 5 and bought it back.
And brought it back and brought it back. And here I am bumping mine up after having that discussion.
Ooh.
So mark your calendars. If we do make any changes to the dates or times, we will let you know. But for right now, the time is April 5th, 8:30 p.m. EST. Static Shock. We will see y'all then. Have a good night. Thank you for discussing with us. Of course, this is not going to work when I need it to work.